if you're watching this right now, you know that you're on Matt, Mike, and Steven's X-Files CCG. So welcome back, and we can do some finger guns at you.
Mike and Matt bringing back the mid to late 90s. Mike and Matt bringing back X-Files CCG.
I thought the finger guns was always at the end.
We do, it's just anytime you kind of feel it, like, hey, man, just, like in 5 minutes, if you're just sitting there, Brian, and you're like, damn, I just feel like finger gunning, do it, man. Just, feel it. But yeah, with us again, Mr. Brian Woodward from Spokane, Washington, is back with us to answer some random questions. And I guess, yeah, like, man, I just didn't even do an intro. Wow, I kind of suck, man. It's been a while. I gotta knock this dust off, man.
Well, we were talking for a little bit before that.
So
when you talk about F. Scott Fitzgerald and ever heady things, and
well, we wanted to bring you back, Brian, because we have amassed quite a few questions since the last time we spoke to you. Some of them are going to be regarding the tournament that we have currently going on, the 2024 X-Files CCG virtual tournament, that is. Because
it's still going?
It's still going, and we have another one in the works right now. So.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry. I've watched some of the stuff when they were the shorter games. I'm surprised that you can get a game lasting only an hour. But I didn't realize it was still hadn't had the final yet. I guess I missed that. I get the notifications every time you guys post something. So.
Yeah, I'll show you real quick where we're at on that, actually, so that everybody else can kind of see it there.
Yeah, and so we're actually down to the final 3 games at this point. So we have our 2 matchups, and then, yeah, those 2 winners will advance to the final one. So the, well, depending on how quickly we edit this, the next matchup is going to be happening this Sunday between Alistair Hedden and John Wood. And I don't have the time off the top of my head, but I don't have it. I think it's going to be, I want to say it's going to be maybe 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, but I just know it's going to be this Sunday. So I'll post that link after we're done with this one.
That's the first I'm hearing about it too, man. And I can totally be on that one, man. I'm free that day. I'm not at the property, so yeah. Like if I'm out on the property, man, it's like, it's just, I can't. Yeah, so awesome. Looking forward to that.
Mr. Woodward here, Brian, we have asked you back because, yes, we still do have a tournament going on, so some of our questions are going to be geared towards that. But because it's been a while since you graced us with your presence, we also had some other questions that we have come up with, which regarding not only the X-Files CCG, but some of the more avid fans of the Scooby-Doo expandable card game, including myself, have questions for you. So we'll start with the X-File CCG related questions. And this first one, Brian, is going to be more regarding your playtesting, your time as a playtester for the game. From what you recall, were there any cards amongst those that you were involved in playtesting that you thought, boy, this is a really problematic card, or this card had to go through so many revisions, as I recall, because it just wasn't matching well? Were there any cards that you recall that were particularly problematic?
I know there were a couple, and just because I remember you've seen them before, I think you showed them probably to everybody, the little white cutouts that we had that we used just to play in cards. And I just remember one. It may have been Deny Everything. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember. It had I had the amount of red ink text that I had on that card, changing and crossing things out, and I think that's the card, but I can't be absolutely sure for the amount of time ago that was, but yeah, there was a couple of them that I just had just so much so many notes on it that I was like, okay, this needs to change. We can't use this card.
Do you have a favorite team of agents or a themed deck that for the X-Files that you were most fond of that seemed to work best for you? Or staple agents, I should say.
I think for a while there I went with as many agents as possible. So all the low cost guys. So I had like, the man, I'm not gonna remember names here.
Kresge, of course, right?
Huh? Yeah, Kresge. The Native American
Albert Holstein.
Albert Holstein. I remember he was always in my deck. And if I can get 5 agents in my deck, that's usually what I did. When I have whatever the most amount of agents I could have in my deck at a time with the point system. And all I remember Holstein. I'm pretty sure in that deck I sent you, because that's just the show off deck. It has like every ultra rare you can put into a deck. So it would have had the Scully, the Mulder, the Krychek ultra rares, right?
Yep.
And then I probably would have had, who's there was like a brown curly haired woman that was an agent, I think.
There was Karen Kossoff. She cost 3. There's Nancy Spiller, who was the 4. There was a promo for Henderson.
Probably the 3. Yeah, probably the 3, I'm guessing.
I'm sure Burke was on there as well, the computer guy who can negate an adversary for 4 with the 4 RP costs.
Yeah.
So the next question that we had for you, Brian, was regarding an issue that has, it hasn't come up, I guess. Well, it did come up during the tournament, during the regular season, actually. And it was regarding agent game effects. Now, in the manual, they don't really spell out too much about when agent game effects come into play, whether you're supposed to because they're so varied, and I guess that's partly the reason. But what's your take on the use of agent game effects being used by the conspiracy player? So the conspiracy player is trying to prevent the opposing team from investigating, but is using agent game effects to get it done. What's your take on that?
No. That's one of the things that I remember from a previous one. Agent game effects are, in my opinion, and probably in the new rule set that I had written, would only be able to be used when you're playing as the agent side, not as the blue side, not as the red side, basically. So that's what they're made for. The only one that was different was the one guy who could be played as a monster, right? But Patterson, right? But that's because he was being played as, as a red. He's being played on that side. But all the other ones, and that's something that we took into. I mean, there was into the Scooby-Doo. That's how I'm looking at it. When we did later on, took those same rules, because you're not going to have Scooby and Shaggy try to scare the rest of the party, right? They're not going to. So you're not going to have Mulder and Scully working against themselves, right? They're not going to be using an ability that's going to make their job harder. So that's how I look at it. And the agents are always on the agent side, and their abilities are only for use on that side.
As of right now, there's 4 players remaining. you have any advice for the final four, the final tournament players going into this? They are allowed to change their deck for the final, so the final two could come up with a brand new deck. Do you have any advice for that, or just overall advice in general about the tournament?
Probably not that they haven't learned already. I mean, I haven't really looked at as much at as the rules that you did. Like I said, we had my strategy was always to have as many agents available to use as possible, so that I can not only spread out the skills, but I can, if someone got sent to the hospital, I still had 4 agents, and I could still do 2 sites, that kind of thing. So I'm not sure. Without looking at it, that was my main one, was just be able to be a jack of all trades. I didn't just point to one thing. That was always mine. And the reason I don't say take what I say is because I think no matter what card game we played, Dave May won probably 99.9% of the games we played. Of any game that we played. The only time he didn't is when we were playing multiplayer, because I was always the devil going against him. But if we were solo, man.
Hey, Steven and I were present at FileFest last year, and literally in person watched Dave May get beaten.
All right, so a quick update on Dave's loss here.
I haven't lost.
Oh, sorry.
It's not official.
Sorry.
Not yet.
Okay? It's close.
No, it's close.
But I'm also made, I think, a triumphant near comeback. I'm in the zip code to still win this.
I'm going to Commander too.
I do not. I have some.
Totally glad for that.
Stand by.
Do something.
all-
Do something. You got something.
You got to finish me now. You really do.
Oh, no.
I'm trying.
You gotta. It's just where we're at. It's yours to win. It's yours. You got this.
You just let her
I'm
manage
going to
you?
use this.
No, she Holstein.
Yeah, I
She got all
Holstein
these
it.
extra tokens. We knew
They still make it.
Yeah.
Motive. Is your motive?
We did notice.
No, you have not.
Uh-oh.
Is your motive
Here you go. Here you go. You guys
survival?
Answer the question.
Is your motive survival? Yes. Yes, his motive.
It is survival.
Don't worry about it. She's down to the last one.
Is it Eugene?
I don't know. Don't show me. Show her.
Brian, thanks so much for hanging out with us and answering these X-Files questions. I know the tournament is coming maybe to an end. I don't know, 4 players left. We'll see how long that takes. But I know everybody loves hearing from you, and I think we're going to talk to you again real soon. Maybe go into some different Scooby-Doo questions. So thanks, and we'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you guys next time on Matt and Mike and Steven's X-Files CCG.